G'day, how's it going, Railfans, and welcome to Australia Worldwide Gaming for the latest Train Sim World 2 information update, brought to you by the godfather of Train Sim World, and welcome to the roadmap details for the 11th of January 2022. Hopefully you had a great day so far. And this is the first roadmap for 2022. And guess what? The roadmap is got a new formula once again. Well, what's new? Dovetail always making this a circus, aren't they? They're always changing things around and making things la-di-da-di-da. Well, guess what? We have the latest information for you guys here, and we continue to keep you informed with all things Train Sim World 2. So let's get into the details here by my good friend.
Welcome to the first roadmap of 2022, All Change. The Train Sim World 2 roadmap was originally intended to give players an indication of when the preserved collection from Train Sim World would become available for them to use. When we first started talking about future plans in this way, it showed there was a keen interest among players to gain better insight into what Dovetail Games was up to behind the scenes. This format gave us the opportunity to reveal more about the development process and to get feedback on new and proposed features and release earlier. In the early days of the roadmap, we also incorporated progress reports on issues that had been brought to our attention by players. This had the potential to be invaluable in demonstrating that your concerns were being investigated and, when possible, remedied. The problem with this approach was that it was impossible for us to accurately provide a status update on these issues due to the way the development team work on them and the speed at which the situation changed. More simply, it was often the case that no sooner had we listed something as under investigation, the investigation had completed and work was then added to the development backlog. In the last few months, we've once again looked to evolve the roadmap format as we were increasingly giving misleading descriptions for work that was completed. For example, listing a route the preservation crew had completed their overhaul of as upcoming became almost code for waiting for testing, and on many occasions this wait could be considerable. Similarly, we were unable to add routes or upcoming releases to the roadmap as the detail of that release was not 100% locked down, even though production had begun. The roadmap is an ongoing project to help players understand where our efforts are being employed, and each update is an opportunity to evolve the format to better serve this goal. New year, new roadmap. Obviously, with an introduction like this we can mean only one thing: the roadmap format is changing. Rather than listing ongoing and upcoming projects according to their status, we will now break them up into the type of project it is. The order these projects are listed within their category is an indication of the order they'll be released. Naturally, this order can change over time, but will be clear when this has happened, offering an explanation when possible. We'll also list out projects that are still lacking final details or scope. If we know we're making a US route set in the early 2000s, we'll add it to the roadmap, but may well keep the identity of that route vague until it has been announced more fully. This last point is an important one. The roadmap will no longer be the place to find out the new routes that we're developing. Instead, each new add-on will be announced independently so that it doesn't simply get buried among everything else we're working on. We hope this new format better serves our original intent, and that as players you get better insight from it. Creators Club/Expansion Pack. The main update between this roadmap and the end of 2021, aside from the change in format, is that we've altered the way that Creators Club will be released. In our previous roadmap article, we discussed a new addition to the schedule, an expansion pack, featuring additional liveries, services, and scenarios for Sand Patch Grade, Bakerloo Line, and Jnauary, Aachen, as well as access to a new tool, Creators Club, which allows sharing and downloads of livery designer and scenario planner creations made by our community. Thanks largely to your feedback, we have split the two releases on the roadmap, the expansion pack and Creators Club are now separate releases. The expansion pack will be available in a similar way to a traditional paid-for add-on, whilst Creators Club will be a free core upgrade to Train Sim World 2, which everyone who owns the base game will have access to. The issue of reproducing real-world liveries to share within Creators Club has been widely discussed, and we know how important this is as a feature of the tool. At present, we have no option but to restrict livery sharing to fictional creations only. We are working with our partners to try to remove this limitation, but have no further updates on this topic for the time being. Dovetail Ramp, January 13th. Our first release of the year sees us set up in Saxony for the Dovetail Ramp, coming this Thursday, January 13th. Find out all about it here, and you can watch last week's preview stream here. Projects that are being tackled by the preservation crew. Many of these upgrades will simply be adding the latest game functionality to an older route. The additions or changes in the upgrade will include some or all of the following: station departure boards, animated crossings, platform climb-up functionality, improved track rendering, rush hour passenger density and appearance, support for rail driver, contact signaler functionality, minor fixes to scenery, minor fixes to audio, minor fixes to gameplay, minor fixes to menu items, livery designer compatibility, scenario planner expansion. Note, these items are not currently in projected release order. East Coastway upgrade. Great Western Express upgrade. Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr upgrade. Long Island Railroad upgrade. Main Spessartbahn upgrade. MP36PH3C Baby Bullet upgrade. Northern Transpennine upgrade. Oakville Subdivision upgrade. Peninsula Corridor upgrade. Rapid Transit upgrade. Rhein-Ruhr-Osten upgrade. Ruhr-Sieg Nord, Dovetail Live Mastery support. Ruhr-Sieg Nord upgrade. Sandpatch Grade upgrade. Schnellfahrstrecke Köln-Aachen upgrade. Tees Valley Line upgrade. West Somerset Railway, Dovetail Live Mastery support. These are forthcoming add-ons that are being developed by Dovetail Games. Where details are still being finalized for a release, we are including the ID code for it when possible. This will give you a good idea of what to expect. To see what these ID codes mean, you can refer to this post. DBBR708 Dovetail Ramp, Dresden, Chemnitz with DBBR612 and DB Branch 143. ACS 64 Amtrak 50th Anniversary Livery. XBDE 601 Expansion Pack. NCCR 702 Harlem Line, Grand Central Terminal, White Plains with M3A and M7A. GAAR 501 Spirit of Steam. These are forthcoming add-ons that are being developed by teams outside Dovetail Games. Where details are still being finalized for a release, we are including the ID code for it when possible. This will give you a good idea of what to expect. To see what these ID codes mean, you can refer to this post. NDDR 703 Horseshoe Curve, Altoona, Johnstown South Fork with ES44 ACGP 38-2, developed by Skyhook Games. DBBL 501 DBBR 420 Electric Multiple Unit, Hauptstrecke München Augsburg, developed by TSG. Core features are larger projects. These may be significant new pieces of functionality or changes that will affect players on one or several different platforms. Often requiring more time in development, this list may move more slowly than others. Creators Club. PlayStation 5 add-on limit fix. Rush hour passenger system for London commuter. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 Profile Transfer. Projects that players will notice but don't fall into one of the other categories. Dovetail Live Rewards. Items that have been removed from the roadmap. This is either because they have been completed, their status having changed, or the project having been suspended. Memory use optimization, removed because this is a permanent ongoing project. Improved cloud visuals, integrated into Preservation Crew standard upgrades. Scenario Planner 2.0, project suspended. Livery Designer 2.0, project suspended. User guides and manuals, project to be rescoped and re-added soon.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest roadmap details for you there right now. So I do note that they did talk about the Farron ramp, which is going to be released here in Australia on the 14th of January, early hours on the 14th of January. That's this Friday for PC Steam owners, for the owners of PC here in Australia only, and New Zealand and southern halves of the world. It will be the 14th, do note, because for the PC owners, it should become available late in the daytime in the Thursday for the console owners of Train Sim World 2 for that one, so do understand that. So now we don't know what's getting released next through the roadmaps now. So they will be individually announced on their own now, which I think is a good approach as well. But eventually will become available on the roadmap. But it's just going to be announced individually now, which is quite unique, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes about it when we get an announcement for a new route or a new loco throughout 2022. So do bear that in mind. So anyway, that's all we got time for the roadmap details for the first one for 2022. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn that notification bell on. You can also follow Australia Worldwide Gaming at social media platforms, Facebook and Twitter. And there'll be links on the screen now for the Horseshoe Curve roadmap, details of the information update, and also a couple other stuff on there. So links will be on the screen right now. It's bye-bye for now.